marvelous hello, friends and loved ones. How are you today? So look, before I get started on today's video, I just want to have a very quick talk with Pokémon Snap. So, you think you can just be one of the most fun and relaxing games on the N64? You think you can leave us hanging for 20 years and then just waltz back in with a sequel like it's nothing? Well, have I got two very choice words for you.
Welcome back.
Before I get started, I should probably be as transparent as possible. I love Pokémon Snap. I already did a video on the original game, and I've been desperately trying to fill the void that game left for the past 20 years. Whether it was taking pictures of real-life Pokémon, aka animals, in Africa on the PS3, or exploring the creepy abandoned Penko Park just last year, or even the upcoming Sapphire Safari, which... moving on. The point is, I was incredibly excited to finally sit down with a proper Pokémon Snap sequel. But, does it live up to the hype? Yes! Alright! The rest of the video. Real quick, if you like what I do, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel out a lot more than people realize and allows me to put more time into making content. Thank you. It's gonna be difficult for me to talk about new Pokémon Snap without drawing comparisons to the original, so expect a fair amount of that from me, but of course I do plan on highlighting what this game does to go above and beyond and how it stands on its own. So, let's get started with the photographic adventures of my adorable blonde protagonist, Developy. Much like in the original Pokémon Snap, you're invited by a Pokémon researcher, Professor Mir, to take photos of all the Pokémon that inhabit the Lentil region. I am not a fan of that name. Between this and the Ore region, is there some rule that Pokémon spin-off regions aren't allowed to have good names? But whatever. Aiding you in helping the professor are Rita, his assistant, Todd, the protagonist from the original Snap, and Phil, who didn't need to be in this game at all. After a tutorial that I think goes on for a bit too long, I mean, the original was able to sum up everything you needed to know with press Z to aim, press A to shoot, you'll be off on your very first course. Immediately, things feel right at home. One detail I love, whether this was intentional or not, is that one of the first Pokemon you see is Dodrio. It felt like the evolution of the Doduo you see at the start of the original game, much like this game feels like an evolution of the N64 Classic. One of the first features you'll unlock is a scanner that allows you to learn about different things you'll come across, and this also makes certain Pokemon react to you. This can be used to discover secrets and get better pictures. Something I love that really drives home that new Pokémon Snap is a Gen 8 Pokémon Snap is that the very first course has at least one Pokémon from every generation. From Magikarp to Pichu, Tailo to Bidoof, Swanna to Florges, and Comfey to Grookey, it just felt really good seeing representatives from the entire history of Pokémon right on that very first track. I really appreciated that. Just like in the original title, you take photos of whatever you can, and at the end of your run, you'll get your photos graded by Professor Mir. This is mostly the same as the first game. You're still rated on size, pose, and if your Pokemon is in the center of the frame, but a couple of new additions now include how much the Pokemon is facing the camera, the actual background of the image, and you'll now receive bonus points for any additional Pokemon that made their way into the frame, not just multiples of the same Pokemon. Something that makes it a bit more complicated than the original title is now every Pokemon has different star ratings, which encourage you to submit multiple photos of the same Pokemon. Essentially, if you just get the Pokemon standing there, it'll probably be 1 star, but if it's reacting to your scan, or if you just recently beamed it with a piece of fruit, that might be worth 2 stars. I do really like this system, but I don't like that you can only submit 1 photo of each Pokemon per run. I think I would have liked it better if you could submit 1 photo of each star ranking. Because if you manage to get a 3 or 4 star picture of a Pokemon on your first run, now you have to replay the course for the sole purpose of submitting a worse or at least less interesting photo of the same Pokemon. If I managed to take a 1, 2, and 3 star photo of a Pokemon in the same run, it would have been nice to get them all graded at once. One minor complaint I have is that Professor Mir's standards seem pretty low. Gone are the days when you can fail to take a proper photo. Every picture is good enough for this guy. If I'd tried to give this photo of an Ariados to Professor Oak, he'd have sent me back out there and told me not to come back until I'd thought about what I've done. In lieu of failure, those stars I mentioned earlier come in bronze, silver, gold, or diamond based on your total score. So ideally you want to get diamond stars on each photo, regardless of how many stars it has. But like I said, Mirror doesn't really have high standards. For example, this 3-star pic I took of Bouffalant managed to get a diamond ranking, and you can't even see its face. I'm not proud of this photo, but as far as scores are concerned, Mirror does not expect any better of me. One cool new feature that I really love is the addition of research levels. As you get better and better photos on each course, your research level will increase. This basically allows you to go through different versions of each stage, and the Pokemon you encounter or what behavior they exhibit might be different. For instance, in level 1 of the park, Pichu and Grookey are rather wary of you and run away, but by level 3 they're more than happy to greet you right at the start. This was a really smart way to get a lot of use out of the same courses, and overall, I liked this idea. Truth be told, I like a lot of the ideas that new Pokemon Snap brought to the table. Know why I like them? Because a lot of them are things that I literally said I wanted any would-be Pokemon Snap sequel to have. Don't believe me? Well then, let's check the tapes. How about a day and night system, where the Pokemon you see or what they're doing actually changes depending on the time of day? Oh, you mean like this exact thing that exists, allowing us to see Sleepy Boy Daytime Hoothoot and Wide Awake Nighttime Hoothoot? What else you got? How about just letting us slap some Snapchat filters on things and share them on Twitter? These are a couple of my personal favorites. I was definitely having fun. Next. More levels, more Pokemon? Well, compared to Pokemon Snap's 7 stages, new Pokemon Snap boasts over 20, including the day and night variations, but not including the different research levels. And instead of only having 63 Pokemon, new Pokemon Snap features 214. Now, granted, 63 out of 151 is a much higher percentage than 214 out of 898, but it's still nearly 4 times as many Pokemon from the N64 game, so I'm not really gonna complain about that. The courses are all pretty great too. You've got everything from sandy beaches to spooky forests, and even taking a leisurely stroll around your own yard. The sceneries are just as breathtaking as the magical creatures that inhabit them, and I really loved seeing how much stuff this game managed to do with them. Maybe even travel to multiple regions so we can see the regional variants as well. Funny Pancake Raichu go whoosh. One other new mechanic I like is the request system. See, unlike the original, new Pokemon Snap doesn't really have the special photos of the N64 version. You know, the ones that made Oak go, wow! Like fighting Magmar, or Pikachu on a stump. Instead, many of the game's characters will periodically give developee requests where they provide a vague hint for how you can get a special photograph they'd like you to take. This can be stuff like a photo of Murkrow eating a snack, or snapping a sleeping Arbok falling out of a tree. They do tell you what course and time period you can get these photos, but I wish they also included which research level of the course you're expected to snap these pictures. And aside from that, there are also these research titles. These act like an in-game achievement system. Have you gotten so many photos of a particular type of Pokemon? Or scored enough diamond star ratings? Or and that brings me to the big main mechanic of new Pokemon Snap, the Illumina phenomenon. It's really nothing special. You can earn these Illumina orbs that I guess replace the arguable abuse of the Pester Balls. Some Pokemon will have special reactions when hit with one of these orbs, and some will do something unique or special if the orb is chucked into one of these special flowers. It's fine, but hardly feels like the game-changing primary mechanic it tries to advertise itself as. Then there are the Illumina Pokemon, who have their own courses. These are basically reminiscent of the Mew stage from the original game, and act sort of like boss battles. An entire course dedicated to getting the best possible photo you can of these gentle glowing giants. There is definitely a challenge to unlocking the higher star ranked photos, but these levels, particularly the Research Level 1 variants, just feel really slow in my eyes. There are some neat secrets hidden in these miniature boss courses, but again, it doesn't feel like this was the fantastic new mechanic to carry the game they were aiming for. And that brings me to my absolute biggest criticism for new Pokemon Snap. There are no puzzles that involve your actions triggering a Pokemon's evolution. The evolution puzzles were some of my favorites from the first game, from knocking Weepinbell into the water or coercing 3 Magnemite close enough to become Magneton. These were great uses of the mechanics, and new Pokemon Snap just doesn't have any of that. You do see a handful of evolved Pokemon, but you don't really see the evolutions themselves, and sometimes Pokemon I expected to see on a higher research level were still absent. Like, in the forest, I saw a Pancham training with a Shiftry, and I thought this was setting up for me to encounter Pangoro down the road, but I didn't. It's not a game breaker by any means, but it was a bit of a bummer to see one of my favorite mechanics the original game had completely absent this time around. New Pokemon Snap is by no means perfect. I already mentioned a couple of my criticisms, and I absolutely recommend increasing the camera speed in the settings, otherwise it's way too slow. Also, compared to the N64 title, the soundtrack is nowhere near as good or memorable. However, new Pokemon Snap brought so much to the table and really did offer players nearly everything we could have wanted in a sequel. The requests and star system were both welcome additions, and it is truly addictive trying to get those diamonds. At the time of making this video, there's still plenty of perfect photos I don't have and requests I need to finish, so I'm sure I'll be going back to this game for a good long while. Even as I'm sitting here to record this, I still can't believe this has finally happened after all this time. And hopefully it won't be another 20 years before we're all playing newer Pokemon Snap. I consider this game a must-own for any fans of the original title. And even if you've never played the series in your life, this entry might be a good time for you to give it a shot.
You were close.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, be sure to click like, but if you really liked it, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. Extra special thanks to all my friends and loved ones over on Patreon, which you can pledge to today to see your own name in these ending credits. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care.